everyone, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling video podcast I run here on the UC Campbell channel on YouTube.com. Also, currently looking at other ways of going with everything, more of an audio side and everything in that sense. But that's something for later down the line, and something I've kind of been toying around with for a little bit. Matter of fact, for programming notes, a little bit something special today. I am doing this obviously live now, and then we're going to go to, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to film my predictions for WWE No Mercy. Then we're going to go live on my Twitch page that is UC Campbell as well, and we're going to do match simulations for WWE No Mercy using Fire Pro Wrestling World. So we're going to be toying around with a few different things today, and it should be, honestly, it should be a lot of fun down the line here. At least I feel like it should be. And we'll see how everything plays off of this one. But this episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle is going to focus around WWE Smackdown Live for November 19th, 2017, and there's only one way I could truthfully say on this show is that it was very promo heavy. It was light on the action in certain senses, and honestly, for the most part, the show was not very good. You had they started off the show with Shane McMahon basically cutting a promo on Kevin Owens, saying he condemns him to hell, everything in that sense, kind of building up a little bit more for Hell in a Cell. Honestly, I'm completely okay with that because they played off the aspect that Shane is reinstated. He's going to come out for vengeance on his father, even though his dad was the one that stuck him in Hell in the Cell at WrestleMania 32. Whatever. He actually kind of explains that. It's like, yeah, he says that him and his dad see differently and don't see eye to eye all the time, but he still loves him, all that kind of stuff. So he's going for vengeance. So your basic run-of-the-mill promo, they do make the announcement that Kevin Owens is not in the building itself, and he's going to be doing something via satellite a little bit later on. And of course, Shane at the end condemns Owens to Hell in a Cell. But he calls it Hell in the Cell, not Hell in a Cell, or a cell. So a little bit of a flub there, I guess, on that one. But yeah, that was an alright promo. But like I said, later on we kind of saw a lot of different, a lot of promo heavy centric stuff. And like I said, it was this SmackDown. It just felt like it never really fully got off the ground to go along with everything. So up next was Aiden English going up against Randy Orton. Of course, Aiden English, he goes out there, he starts singing Randy Orton's theme song, but he also kind of adds his own lyrics to it. Of course, he's you know, provoking the Viper, everything to go along with that. Randy Orton comes out for the match. This was another match that was, again, kind of, what was it? It was kind of hampered by the commercial break, but you did like it was in that corner thing again that they're going. You know, the more that they do this now, the more I get annoyed with it. To be completely honest with you, the more I get annoyed with it. But this match was a pretty decent match, honestly. Aiden English got a lot of offense in. He was basically in control most of the match until he gets caught with a RKO out of nowhere when he dives off the second rope. And Randy Orton picks up the victory. Honestly, Aiden English looked really good in this match. Maybe they're going to attempt to push him or something down the line here. I'm not 100% certain on what it is. But after the match, Rusev comes out. He cuts a promo on Randy Orton, talking about how he made him a laughingstock and him and his family. Hello, Pro Gamer Galaxy. I do have, for reference for people who are watching this later, I do have my chat up and running. This is live stream, so I may cut in and say that people are doing a as they're saying hello or something in that sense. So that's going to happen in this one. we'll get back into it. Rusev comes out. He cuts a promo on Randy Orton saying how he embarrassed him at SummerSlam. He made him a laughingstock in Bulgaria. He was here to get his revenge, and that he was gonna want to fight Randy Orton right now. Apparently, Randy Orton accepts this somehow or some way. You don't really get an actual signal of when this happened, but apparently it happened. To go along with it. The match does happen. Randy Orton basically gets beaten in 10 seconds, just like Rusev got beaten in 10 seconds. So they're back and forth now. The match basically goes, Randy Orton blocks a kick, gets run into Aiden English, and then after a failed RKO attempt, and then the super kick for the victory. Rusev basically celebrates this like he won the world title, everything in that sense. He has a backstage interview, how he feels relieved and everything in that sense. He's a conquering hero now. This wasn't too bad. This up next. And I do like the fans on this one. I'll comment on that a little bit later. I like the fans in this next segment. I like the fans in this next segment of the show, which was the Jinder Mahal promo, where they basically did the exact same thing they did last week. Last week I was kind of okay with it. It wasn't fully well received. I kind of found it a little bit funny, everything in that sense, but this week they managed to somehow get the fans to chant "That's too far" during all the stuff that that Jinder Mahal was doing. They basically, last week they had put it up where it was different faces for Shinsuke Nakamura, everything in that sense of everything. They would mock that. This time it was the exact same face for everything, and he basically was. To just put it blatantly blunt, I know that sounded a little bit weird coming out of that. Jinder Mahal almost kind of becomes a hypocrite in this sense of everything. He rags on all the fans for being racist and everything in this sense, but he is blatantly overly racist in these promos. It is completely... it's completely noticeable. It was noticeable last week. It went even further with it this week. Honestly, it was one of those things that it went from, okay, this is fine, they're doing the exact same thing they did last week, to, okay, this is actually kind of bad now, I'm not really caring too much about it. And then it went to just straight cringeworthy. And towards the end and everything in that sense. And again, no Shinsuke Nakamura. Matter of fact, they have Nakamura do a 30-second-esque promo backstage, basically getting a remark in on what he thought of Jinder Mahal. He said he sounded funny, or he was like he's funny or something in that sense. And then he said it won't be funny when I win the world title at Hell in a Cell. So that was basically the only retort he's had. Well, I think we need to get to a point in time where he is kind of... Oh, what's the word? What is the word for this one? It is... He needs to take a little bit more action. A little bit more action. Maybe he goes out and destroys the Singh brothers or something in that sense. But yeah, this week the Shinsuke Nakamura, Jinder Mahal stuff kind of it was like all right, it's the exact same stuff. Okay, this is actually getting really bad. And then it got really, like I said again, really cringeworthy. It was one of those bits of, and that's why I made the title of the actual thing here, is how far can you actually go? Or how far can you go? And they may have crossed the line that... I know WWE's crossed that line before, but they went pretty far with this one. To the point that, like I said, they got the fans to chant, "That's too far. That's too far." Maybe they went a little too far with that one. Maybe. Just a little bit. Just a little. But let's get away from all that. We'll go into what was supposed to be Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles for the United States title. This match actually never happens. Corbin attacks Styles right before the match, which actually prompts Ty Dillinger to come out and attack Baron Corbin. As a matter of fact, he attacks his ankle, and Corbin sells it great. He sells it great throughout the entire thing. He was trying to stand on it, was continually falling to the ground. Eventually, Styles shows no mercy like Corbin did to him, and then eventually puts him in the calf crusher and makes Corbin tap out. Match again never starts. So I guess they're setting up some kind of triple threat or something in that sense for down the line. But you could definitely tell, especially after the attack at the beginning, that this match was not going to take place. And it just kind of went downhill from there. It kind of went downhill from that portion of it. Now, the segment itself was fine, but it wasn't really much of anything. Like I said, there was a lot of just talk to everything today, and basically like this no match to go along with it. You had and you even did have a backstage segment with Baron Corbin where he said he's not going to get mad, he's going to get even and everything in that sense. It's like and he was still hobbling around on the ankle. He was doing a really good job of selling the ankle in this one. So Corbin looking pretty good on that. And I guess we're going to be getting some kind of triple threat match with Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin and AJ Styles. Could be an interesting match. Honestly, could be an interesting match. Owens will get screwed. I'm looking at the chat again. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. I don't know how they're going to do that with Hell in a Cell, but that's a possibility. This brings us up next to the segment with Charlotte, where she comes out, basically thanks everybody for the support that they gave her father, talked about everything that had happened. Well, she didn't talk about everything in general, but like everything that they had been going through in the terms of how touch and go everything was, and that it was a life lesson for her that try to make every moment count, and she was going to do that by going after the women's title. This does bring out Natalya, who wanted to host a celebration of women, or just by focusing on herself, because she brings out a giant picture and everything. This does eventually have Charlotte basically challenging her for the title. This also brings out Becky Lynch, who gets a couple good one-liners in there, and Naomi, and then eventually Tamina to go along with it. Now, initially, what I was thinking was we're going to get another Fatal 5-Way match or something in that sense. Hey, Teddy Hart. Yeah, it has been a while on here. It has been. But I was thinking of that we'd be getting another Fatal 5-Way, but no, they decided to go ahead and make it just a Fatal 4-Way for later in the night for #1 contendership to Natalya's title. Actually, this is a good segment. I'll talk about that main event in a little bit here. Up next, you had the Hype Bros going up against the New Day with the Usos on commentary. Usos are just really, really, really good. They're really, really good at the just the whole aspect of being almost tweener. They come off as kind of chill and mellow, but they also come off as intense and like vicious at the same time. You just saw that in their commentary. Like Byron made mention to being the former tag team champions. They just kind of look at him as like, why'd you have to bring up the former? And it's like, why'd you have to do that? And it wasn't even like one of those bits of, oh, they're being heelish. There was just kind of the in-between. The match with the New Day and the Hype Bros, it was a pretty good match. It was a decent enough match. New Day going over, which also eventually had the stare down between the Usos and the New Day. They do make mention that there's going to be a match at Hell in a Cell between the Usos and the New Day, so it's their rematch and everything in that sense. Honestly, if they put this match inside Hell in a Cell, it would be a good way of going. I think this match in general, it is, I wouldn't say necessary for them to be in Hell in a Cell, but it is one of those things that it would fit. These two teams inside Hell in a Cell, it would fit. And I don't... no, they have done a tag team match with Hell in a Cell. It was on Raw. It was with Mankind and Stone Cold Steve Austin going up against it was Austin and Undertaker going up against Kane and Mankind. This was a long time ago, but like right before that 1998 King of the Ring match with Mankind and Undertaker. So, wouldn't be the first tag team match. Matter of fact, also, yeah, they did Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes going up against DX as well. So, they have done other tag matches inside there. It's just very rare to go along with it. But yeah, good enough segment. And like I said, I would like to see that match inside Hell in a Cell. And I think it would do wonders for that one. Well, it wouldn't do wonders, but it would just fit. It would fit the program where it's at right now. This does bring us up to the Kevin Owens interview, where he basically was going to say, it's like, I'm going to apologize for everything, but then he basically shifts everything to blame Shane McMahon for everything he did to Vince, because he said when he was shaking Vince's hand, all of a sudden it just turned to Shane's face, and he wanted to just beat the crap out of Shane for what he had done the week before, everything on that sense. And it was like, he also makes mentions saying that what he did to Vince will be nothing compared to what he'll do to him inside Hell in a Cell. It was what it was. It was what it was. Kevin Owens great on the mic, as usual. Per usual on that one. So it is what it is on that. And yeah, we'll see how everything plays off. They've still got, what, another couple weeks before Hell in a Cell. So we have No Mercy this weekend, and we're back on that 2-week schedule again, everybody. We'll just leave it on that. You got one pay-per-view, then you got to pay-per-view 2 weeks from now. And then you got another pay-per-view 2 weeks after that. It keeps going on that side of everything. So this actually brings us to a backstage segment with the Hype Bros, where you have Mojo Rawley kind of just talking off in the distance, with Zack Ryder kind of like mauling over the defeat. And you have Mojo saying, it's like, we need to change up something. We need to do something drastic. And it's like, getting sick and tired of all this losing, everything in that sense. And Zack just kind of nods at him. And it makes you feel like they're going to keep this team together, but both of them are going to turn heel. I think that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a heel Mojo Rawley, and we're going to get a heel Zack Ryder. And that might actually be more interesting than just one of them turning heel. At least that's what I'm kind of hoping. I mean, they could go the other way as well. We'll see how that one ends up playing off. And it's time for Dolph Ziggler. And by Dolph Ziggler, I mean he basically came out and did the exact same thing he's been doing the last 2 weeks beforehand. And give me a moment. I'll talk about that one here in a brief moment on the chat. But you had Dolph Ziggler coming out, and he basically says, you don't care, I don't care, nobody cares, blah, blah, blah. He comes out, he does Triple H's entrance kind of poorly. He did Shawn Michaels' entrance, and then he did a DX entrance. And this entire time that he's been doing this whole flashy entrance thing and saying that everybody's all flash and no substance, though you're talking about Triple H, and I mean, you've done Macho Man as well, and you did Shawn Michaels. That's not really no flash, no all flash, no substance there to go along with it. It was funny the week before. I thought it was a little bit funny the week before, but then again, it was the first time I had seen it. Now that they've done it literally 3 weeks in a row, it makes you wonder. It's like, where's Bobby Roode? Where's Bobby Roode in all of this? It's like Bobby Roode would be like he's like the new flashy entrance and everything in that sense. And it's like, where is he in all of this? And it's kind of weird that they haven't done anything with him down the line here, at least in the sense of where they're going with all of this. So yeah, you kind of feel like that's where they're going. It's going to be something with him and Bobby Roode, but why haven't they, why is it taking them so long to get there at this point in time? Hopefully they do something with it next week before this really starts dragging on. So this brings us up to that fatal 4-way main event, which was Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Tamina and Charlotte. And this was a good main event. This is a very good main event. I did enjoy this one, and I thought it came off really good. I did really think it came off really good. You know, you had different aspects of everything going into this match. You had Tamina kind of dominating the beginning, dominating over everybody at the beginning, and each of the other three trying to have to find a way to take care of Tamina in some way, shape, or form. You had a very good. You had the moonsault from Charlotte coming off of the top rope onto both Naomi and Tamina, which got broken up by a top rope leg drop from Becky Lynch, and then they start kind of trading off on submission finishers, where you had Charlotte in the figure four, and then Becky gets the disarmer on someone after she breaks up the figure four, and then eventually leading to the end where Lana actually gets involved. She pulls Naomi off. She gets kicked in the head because she's working with Tamina, so she's back in manager role now. It is full-fledged. She's in manager role now. Tamina gets rid of Naomi, and then Charlotte comes in, does the big boot to Tamina, and ends up picking up the victory in that way. Charlotte celebrates after the match. I really did enjoy this match. I thought it was a good main event. The only real down point to it, and it was really weird on the timing. They got through the entrances, and this is about 7:49, or like, well, for me it would have been like 6:49. It was about 10 minutes left in the show. And at 6:50, about a minute into the match, they cut right to commercial break. It was really weird. Again, too many commercial breaks. At least too many commercial breaks during matches. It would have been, you know what would be interesting if they would do? Because they had that split screen thing. Since Dolph is saying the same stuff week in and week out now, why don't you just have him do his entrance thing while they're doing the commercials? I think I heard it on, I did hear it on another podcast earlier, and it dawned in my head. It's like, yes, that would be absolutely amazing to do that. I just thought when they made comment on that, it was a very good one. Actually, that was the Going In Raw guys that made mention of that. I was watching them a little bit earlier today before I was doing all my stuff. And yeah, that was a good one. That was a good line for that. So, that's basically it for Smackdown this week. Yeah, that is basically it for Smackdown this week. Now we're going to go into a little bit of thing here. I see Teddy Hart had put in another comment here. Let's see what you're actually saying here. So I'm going to, like, whenever we're doing this stuff live, which is pretty much going to be all the reviews now, we're going to do them live and then they go up later. If people show up in the chat, which, to be honest with you, most of the time I don't expect it, but sometimes, if it does happen sometimes, I'll go through what's in the chat and I'll just kind of comment on it. I did say what's up to Pro Gaming Galaxy. I don't think he's still here now, though. I saw that earlier. But the comment that Teddy Hart said was, hope I'm keeping well, and what do I think of Adam Cole going to NXT? And do I think they'll bury him? The answer to that question is no, I don't think they're going to bury him. Matter of fact, I think they're going to put him right into the main event scene. And I'll talk about a little bit more of that tomorrow on that side of everything during the NXT review. I won't do the NXT review tonight because we got other plans for this evening. And that's going to be over on my Twitch page. I made mention to it at the beginning of everything. I'm going to take a quick break right now. We're going to go off the air. I hope you enjoyed this video in that sense. And we're going to, when I go off the air, I'm going to go ahead and film my predictions for WWE No Mercy. Then over on my Twitch page, we are going to fire Pro Wrestling World, and we are going to do simulation matches to the WWE No Mercy pay-per-view. So with that being said, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed everything. I thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day.